at Commander Replay. We take another look at Shalai Green-White Angel Reanimator. Find out what happens when things get out of hand group hug style, and find out who can survive massive amounts of mana production. Next on Commander Replay. Thank you to all of my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below. Welcome back, everyone. Playing some Shalai Voice of Plenty Green-White Angel Reanimator. Someone was asking me to replay this deck a while ago, and I had tried to film a few games with it, but they didn't go particularly well. There were people like early scooping and all that sort of stuff that tends to happen on Magic Online, so didn't really seem like they were worth showing. So we're going to take another look at it again today. Take a look at our opening hand. We've got 3 lands. We've got a Solemn Simulacrum. We've got removal. Yeah, I like that. Let's keep. It does look like we will be getting some help in the card draw department from both K&T and Seizan Perverter of Truth, so that seems cool. This Jenara deck, I played it the other day, and it had a really strong start. So it can get out of hand real quick, and I have seen Jenara decks do that. So having removal for them is going to be very important, so I feel very good about keeping this Path to Exile in the opener. And looks like we're going last in the turn cycle. Never like doing that. There's an exploration for the K&T. That seems good. Might be a while, but when we get to the mana, I will probably look at blowing that up. It's going to bring it to our turn 1. We draw into a land. Lands are good. Play the Marsh Flats. Crack the Marsh Flats. We'll get the Scatter Groves right here. Don't think we'll be needing to path anything on turn 2. K&T up to 4 mana on turn 2. Seems pretty good. Exploration. Pretty strong card. There's a Girapur Orrery. Okay. That will speed us up a little bit. They are down to 2 cards in hand, which is good, but they might be able to get that card draw off the Orrery, being that it's so early in the game. Ooh. Jenara missed the additional land drop. Don't know if they have another land or if they just don't have any in hand, but they did miss it. Either way. So let's get our 2 lands into play. We'll go for a Forest and a High Market. And we will pass like that. Volrath Stronghold in for the Seizan Perverter of Truth. That is a very good land. You can definitely do some stuff with that in a mono black deck. So I am joined by 3 Patreon supporters today. First up, we have Chaotix2075, piloting Seizan Perverter of Truth. An interesting one out of Kamigawa that says, at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player loses 2 life and draws 2 cards. It tends to show up in the 99 of Nekusar decks periodically. You don't see it much out of the command zone these days, but we'll see what they're up to. Next up, we have Rogaku playing K&T, aka the group hug opponent, and they just cast a Heartwood Storyteller. Whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, each of that player's opponents may draw a card. So, looks group hug-ish with the Girapur Orrery and the Heartwood Storyteller. But K&T is always scary because, like, everyone ramps like crazy, but K&T sets their deck up to be able to use that ramp better than everyone else. So, always something you got to be careful of. And then finally, we have Z-Sauce piloting Jenara, Asura of War. This is also a ramp deck, so Group Hug is going to help this deck a lot. They've got some Praetors in here. They've got a lot of +1/+1 counter synergies. A lot of nasty stuff, and they ended up taking down a table by like turn 5 or turn 6 the other day. It was very, very fast, so we'll need to be careful of that. They do play a Leyline of Anticipation, and that's going to trigger the Heartwood Storyteller. We draw an additional land. That is good. Then we draw into a Farseek, so I think this turn is going to be play the Plains, play Solemn Simulacrum. Oh, should have did that differently. Could have left up the, we'll get a Plains. Yep. I forgot about this. I forgot about the second land play right there, but yeah, if we should have left a white untapped, and we could have played the Path to Exile if we needed it. But alas, we did not. Ooh, it's a Temp with Discovery. That's going to trigger the Heartwood Storyteller. So we get to draw. We do draw a land. Lands are good. I am not going to take the tempting offer. Oh, but we can get a Maria. We'll see what opponent does. Opponent says they're only group hug. Okay. Okay. Still, having a lot of mana is really powerful. Like, after doing the People, Lands, and Board Wipes video, I realized that, like, just making tons and tons of mana is crazy strong. That deck should not work. It's People, Lands, and Board Wipes. Like, that shouldn't be a thing that's effective. Opponent says they have to imagine my commentary while playing the game. And then it's like watching a video. Oh, nice. Opponent takes the land. Oh, fine, we'll take the land. We're going to grab our Ameria. Because with all the group hug stuff going on, it's not going to be too hard to get the 7 planes in. We are on 3 planes currently with a 4th one in hand. And we can get a 5th one with this Farseek, so not too far away. There's an Urborg. Cool. Oh, hey, that's a Smothering Tithe coming down. Probably going to have to shoot that. Opponent also has a Makokoro. They also have a Maze of Ith. Ugh. It's a lot of stuff. Sunblast Angel. Could come in handy at some point. We could draw like 1 or 2 more cards with this Heartwood Storyteller. I think I'm going to use the Path on it. Actually, we could just use like an Austere Command. Austere Command would be super ideal right now. I'd like to get rid of a lot of the stuff on board, instead of having to use like multiple pieces of spot removal. Smothering Tithe will trigger on the Jenara's upkeep. Draw step. Alright, opponent going to play a Sylvan Library. That's that card draw we were looking for. It is the Austere Command we were looking for. Nice. Next we have to figure out what we're blowing up. Smothering Tithe will trigger. Can't afford to pay for it. Mono black opponent does pay for it, so that's something. Opponent's going to use the Makokoro. Yup. We draw an Angelic Skirmisher. Smothering Tithe triggers 3 more times. Opponent's going to... Mono black opponent's going to pay for their trigger. We still don't have the mana to do so. Actually, opponent only has 2 treasures because they use the first couple treasures to trigger the Makokoro. They use the next 2 treasures to trigger the Croson Verge. So we definitely need to blow up enchantments. There's a lot of those running around. I'm thinking also creatures. Really, this Heartwood Storyteller is kind of ridiculous. There's an Acroma. So the question is creatures or artifacts. Either one will hit our Solemn Simulacrum. Artifacts gets rid of the Gearport Orrery. Somehow we missed a land in those last 4. Well, I guess we'll be drawing with the Solemn, so that might give us something. But play this Plains. Yeah, I think we go creatures and enchantments. Actually, no, the Solemn will survive. We may need to high market then on our Solemn. See if we can hit that extra land drop. So send the Solemn Simulacrum over to the Jenara. They take 2. Brings it to our second main phase. Let's draw with the high market. Sacrifice the Solemn Simulacrum. See if we catch that land we were looking for. Hey, we caught that land we were looking for. Nice. Smothering Tithe will trigger. Not paying for it. We gain 1 life. Jenara's holding up priority, which could mean counter spell. Play the Plains. I still think we try it. It's going to be enchantments and creatures 3 or less. Heartwood Storyteller will trigger. Smothering Tithe will trigger. Mono black opponent finally hit a land. Opponent's going to Heroic Intervention. Ugh. So Leyline and Sylvan are going to stick around. Heartwood Storyteller will trigger again. Smothering Tithe will trigger again. Ugh. Okay, so opponent floats 5 mana. We have 9 cards left in hand. I really want to get the Farseek in. Then we'll discard 1. So play the Farseek. Get Temple Garden. Not going to pay the 2 life. Check on our Plains count. That's 4, 5, 6. Oh, we're 1 short. 1 short. Opponent's going to flash down a Dictative Crucifix. Yep. I'm going to discard... We're pretty close, so... yeah, I'm going to put a Chroma in the bin. Seizan has 14 cards in hand, about to be, what, 16? 15? Yeah, 15. All right. They play a land. They play another land. Twilight Prophet coming down for the Seizan. Sure. Good card. Basilisk Collar coming in for the Seizan. And a Vampiric Tutor. That's probably Cabal Coffers, I would have to imagine. So they're going to have some mana next turn. They discard In Garrick's Wake, Bloodthirsty Ogre, and a Damnation. K&T has so many lands. They still have additional card draws, additional land plays. They have Makokoro. Ugh, emergency powers, no. So everyone wheels their hands, reshuffles the graveyards, all that stuff. We have Avacyn, Adarkar Valkyrie, Archangel of Thune, Worldly Tutor, Hunter's Insight, Land, and Urza's Incubator. We have Oracle of Moldiah in the deck. I feel like that might be a card worth getting. Like with so much card draw, so much stuff going on, I feel like that's the only way we're really going to be able to, like, you know, keep up. K&T coming down. Ooh, and a Heartbeat of Spring. Does that change the equation at all? I don't know. Oracle still seems correct. Admonition Angel? That might be one. Tempt with Vengeance, X7. Looks like we're all taking the Tempt. It's going to be a lot of tokens. Group Hug. So K&T end step trigger. We still have 2 land plays. We don't have a second land in hand, so I'm actually going to go for the card draw. Opponent doesn't attack with the tokens. It's a Lyra Dawnbringer. Lifelink could be potentially really good against all of those tokens. Means that we don't have to just die to combat damage. Sylvan Library and Dictative Crucifix trigger for the Jenara. Mana doubling favors Jenara very heavily because they can literally just cast their commander and put a ton of counters on it and get in real big with commander damage, and that kills people very quickly. That's a doubling cube for the Jenara. Yep, that's good. We might be seeing some nasty things really soon. Jin-Gitaxias is in that deck. I believe Vorinclex is also in that deck. Opponent's got a cool 14 mana. Oh, hey, there's a Magus of the Candelabra. It's still summoning sick, thankfully. I think there's actually like 3 mana doublers in that deck, too, at least. Opponent now has 18 mana. There's an Archangel of Thune. Scary. There's a Court of Calling X3. Uh-oh, that's the combo. Yup. Opponent's got infinite life. And their creatures can become infinitely large. Opponent's going to cast their commander. Yep. And this is where this deck doesn't have quite as much removal as I would like. No Ugin. That's sad face. What do we have? Austere Command is back in the deck. That is helpful. There is a Wrath of God. There is a Day of Judgment. That's about it. Admonition Angel. I think we have to go for that now. Opponent's going to Idyllic Tutor. Awesome. So opponent activates their thing, what, about 29 times, give or take? We could also just go for Platinum Angel. Platinum Angel Avacyn seems like a good place to be. Opponent's going to play a Hadana's Climb, which is the card they chose. Oh, thank God, that's an activated ability. Opponent's out of mana, which is good news. Opponent's going to put it on their commander. The land has flipped over. So that's going to bring it to our turn. We need to Worldly Tutor. Going for the Admonition Angel. Gonna have to leave the one floating, can't do much about it. Dictator of Crewfix will trigger, and hopefully something big. It's an Enlightened Tutor. What can we get with that? Mirari's Wake. No True Conviction in the deck. Smothering Tithe. Helm of the Host is fine. Ashnod's Altar. There aren't amazing targets for this situation. An Oblivion Stone or something like that would be pretty cool. So, step 1, get the Urza's Incubator into play. Ooh, we missed the second land drop, too. Choosing Angel. Play the Angel. Play the land. Landfall trigger. I'm going to go with the Archangel of Thune. That seems like the most pressing matter. Use the ability. Next up will be Avacyn. We have 7 mana left, plus some cost reduction. That'll be white. That'll be white 1. That'll be white 1. And that will be 1 white. So that would be 2, 3... That'd be 5, 8 versus our 7 mana. Okay, so we're going to have to leave 1 behind. Maybe we go... I think we go for the Lifelinkers first. Hope that we don't need protection. No, I think we do need the protection. So we'll get Shalai, then Lyra. And I think we'll pass like that, leave up the Enlightened Tutor for the end step. Helm of the Host, maybe? Devout Witness is not the worst thing I've ever seen. Lightning Greaves are not the worst thing I've ever seen. Nope, not going anywhere with our tokens, so best turn like that. Hopefully the mono black player's got a board wipe, or hopefully K&T has something. Mass Bounce. Revealed card for Twilight Prophet was a Westvale Abbey. It's not the board wipe we were hoping on. Opponent plays the Westvale Abbey. Opponent plays a Cryptghast. There's a Cage Sun, so now the... Oh my god. If they could at least have the decency to play a board wipe in all this, that'd be nice. Bantu's Monument. Probably Platinum Angel is the target for that Enlightened Tutor. Oop, there's a Kuan Ogre Ascendant. Easy to flip, but not the best with everyone still having a bunch of tokens in play. Here comes an Erebos. Oh, that's going to take away our life gain. Not Erebos. How many times have we seen my life gain get messed up by Erebos? I don't know how that always seems to happen. Like, I don't play life gain decks super often, but when I do, there's always an Erebos in play. I guess on the other hand, that does, well, as long as that's there, then they can't do the infinite thing with Spike Feeder and Archangel of Thune. Oh, opponent's going to play a Massacre Worm. That's going to hit us. That's probably going to kill K&T. It's also going to hit us pretty badly. Yeah, then we just die to tokens. Maybe we should have went for the Platinum Angel. No real way to know that that's coming, but now what do we do? Yeah, we don't have enough mana for that, so... Opponent sacrifices their Spike Feeder. They did it too late, though. Massacre Worm's already in place. They're going to lose 2 life. They will gain 2 life off the Spike Feeder. Yep, this is going to hurt. This is going to hurt. We survive at 20, but all of our chump blocking tokens are gone. So Kuan Ogre Ascendant is going to flip. Opponent will have to sacrifice a creature to the Kuan Ogre Ascendant. Opponent gets a Sylvan Library trigger. Oh, there's a Zendikar Resurgent. Opponent didn't tap their lands in a way to make the best use of it, though. Though I guess that's awkward with doubling cube. Yeah. Awkward interaction right there. The timing of everything. Opponent's going to Sphinx's Rev X7. Probably looking for some removal. Opponent's Cyclonic Rift did something. I didn't see what it was. Twilight Prophet, maybe? Oh, Twilight Prophet. Well, we're going to try to block the best we can. Don't think it's going to matter. That was annoying. Yeah, mono black players set the Jenara opponent up for the win right there. It's pretty frustrating. What was our next card? Anything good? And so that's actually been the problem that I've been having with this deck while I've played it. So even though there was a lot of crazy group hug stuff going on right there, it basically just made the same thing that always happens to this deck happen faster, which is that opponents are just able to go over the top of this deck really easily, and it's super frustrating. Being green and white, you just don't have like a lot of explosiveness on your side. Like you play your creatures, and then you have to wait a turn for them to untap. This deck just doesn't pack the same amount of punch that the red-white Angel Reanimator deck does. Because with that deck, you only need like 2 Angels in play plus Aurelia, and you can probably take down a player from that point. Especially if there's like a Gisela or an Avacyn in there. You're talking about big damage out of 2 or 3 creatures, where with this deck, you need to get more creatures into play. And when you have 5 Angels in play, people are going to look to use board wipes. So then you need to have protection for them, and you get into this whole game like that. So yeah, that's the one problem that I've had with this deck, is it just doesn't have the explosiveness that it needs to really take over a game. So maybe it's a product of the deck just needing more removal. I need to get an Hour of Revelation in here, I think. I think that would help a bit. After the Austere Command was only half as effective as it could have been, if we got an Hour of Rev down after Jenara's big turn, then, you know, I think the game slows down a bit and we actually have a chance to get into it. But yeah, this is just how the deck's been playing. It's been a little bit frustrating to kind of sit through. Like, there is cool stuff in here. Admonition Angel is probably one that I need to use in the red-white Angel deck as well. Just haven't adopted that one yet. But, you know, the thing I do like about the green-white one is that you have things like Silverglade Pathfinder, you have Survival of the Fittest, Eldamri's Call, Worldly Tutor. You can find the specific creature that you're looking for, which is really, really cool. Like, that is a really good ability to have and something that the red-white deck lacks pretty badly. But the red-white deck just has explosiveness, and this deck doesn't. And, yeah, it just, you can feel it. And like I said, even though some crazy stuff happened, it's always that same manner of thing that seems to happen, is that we play our stuff, opponents play their stuff, and their stuff is just bigger and faster. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this revisit on Shalai, Voice of Plenty, Green-White Angel Reanimator. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.